Rajesh ran barefoot across the dusty path, his throat parched and burning under the relentless Indian sun. He was just 8 years old, a Dalit boy in a world that refused to see him as anything more than dirt beneath their feet. His tiny hands were calloused from hours of work in the fields alongside his mother, but none of that mattered now. He needed water. Up ahead, glistening under the midday sun, was the village's only public water tap. The sight of it filled him with hope, a cruel illusion of relief. His pace quickened, his heart pounding in his chest. He could already imagine the cool, soothing taste of water washing away the dryness in his mouth. But hope was a dangerous thing for someone like Rajesh. He reached out, turned the tap, and "What the hell do you think you're doing, you filthy little untouchable?" The voice shattered the air like a whip crack, and just like that, the thirst that had tormented Rajesh all day was about to become the least of his suffering. Rajesh flinched at the harsh voice behind him but kept his hands on the tap. The water had barely started trickling when rough fingers grabbed his collar and yanked him back. He stumbled, feet kicking up dust, his tiny frame no match for the brute force of the man towering over him. "You filthy rat, you dare touch our water," the man snarled, his breath reeking of betel nut. Rajesh looked up, wide-eyed, at the group of Brahmin men glaring at him. Their eyes weren't just angry, they were disgusted, as if his mere presence had tainted the very air around them. Another man stepped forward, grabbing the metal bucket Rajesh had brought. Without hesitation, he tipped it over, letting the precious water spill onto the dry, cracked ground. The golden liquid soaked into the dust in seconds, lost forever. Rajesh let out a choked gasp, his small hands trembling. No. That was for Mother. A boy around his age, the son of one of the men, smirked at him. "Did you really think you could drink from the same water as us?" he sneered. The other men laughed, shaking their heads. One of them raised a long bamboo cane and brought it down with a sharp crack against the ground, just inches from Rajesh's feet. "Next time, it won't be just the water we spill. Now get lost." Rajesh's lips quivered, but he refused to let out a sound. Crying wouldn't change anything. He had seen this before, had heard the stories from his mother, stories of Dalits beaten, humiliated, even killed just for existing in the wrong place. But this wasn't just a story, it was happening to him. Tears blurred his vision as he glanced one last time at the water tap. The stream was still flowing, wasted on the dirt while his mother was waiting at home, parched. Slowly, Rajesh turned away. He ran, barefoot over stones and thorns, the dust choking him as he choked back sobs. His hands curled into fists, nails digging into his palms. His stomach ached, not from hunger, but from the unbearable weight of helplessness. Behind him, he could still hear their laughter, but ahead, home was waiting, and so was his mother. Rajesh stumbled into the small hut, his chest heaving. His mother looked up, her face tired, her lips cracked from dehydration. She saw his empty hands. "Where is the water, Rajesh?" she asked, her voice soft but heavy with understanding. Rajesh didn't answer. He couldn't. He just stood there, his shoulders shaking, the dust and dried tears mixing on his face. His mother sighed, then reached into the corner of the hut, pulling out a small clay vessel, their last bit of water. She held it out to him. "Drink, my son," she said gently. Rajesh stared at the cup. His throat burned, his body screamed for water, but then he looked at his mother, at her chapped lips, her sunken cheeks. Without a word, he pushed the cup back toward her. "You drink first, Mother." She smiled, a sad, weary smile, before taking the smallest sip, then handing it back. As Rajesh lifted the cup to his lips, he realized something bitter. The thirst he felt was more than just for water. It was for dignity, for justice. And today, neither could be quenched. Rajesh took a slow sip from the cup, but the water did nothing to wash away the burning anger and shame lodged deep in his chest. His thirst was no longer just for water. It was for something far greater, something he couldn't name, but could feel in every fiber of his being. Outside, the sun continued its merciless reign over the land, just as the Brahmins ruled over his village. The injustice felt endless, like a cycle that had trapped his mother, his ancestors, and now him. But as Rajesh sat beside his mother, feeling the warmth of her presence, he made a silent promise. One day, things would be different. One day, no child would have to beg for water, no mother would have to give up her last sip for her son, and no one would be called untouchable. A single tear rolled down his cheek, mixing with the dust on his skin. It wasn't just a tear of sorrow. It was a seed of defiance, of hope, one that, no matter how harsh the sun, would never fully dry up.